Welcome back to Cityline. With me, I have someone that, as much as I love Stuart from Tahoma Audubon, is he out of the building yet? I think he is now. I love this person just as much. Please welcome back to Cityline, Ms. Mary Mikel Stump. You are the Director of Exhibitions and Programs for our beloved Washington State History Museum, and it's so good to see you.
It's really good to see you too.
Oh my goodness, I have missed you so much. In the Spirit, which is one of the contemporary Native arts, it's back at Washington State History Museum for its 18th year.
Yeah.
Wow, it looks good for being 18. What can you tell me about this exhibition that we need to tell our morning audience right now?
You know, it's a real opportunity to celebrate the lived experience and culture of Indigenous people of our area and really see how that lived experience finds its way in art form.
Yes.
And really get access to, if you think about art as a first-person commentary about
Yes.
that experience, it's an opportunity to see many artists working in many different media and what they have to say.
Gosh, I again, closing my eyes and thinking about the process of what is the end result and all the work that gets put into it. The submissions must have been, I don't know how you would pick. I mean, because I love contemporary Native art and I never get tired of it. So where did those submissions for In the Spirit come from?
So we do an open call for artists every year. This is an annual event that we have every summer, and obviously with the 18th year. And we have a wonderful advisory committee, and through that advisory committee we select 3 jurors who have a lot of experience with Indigenous art, either as curators, artists, or other sort of cultural.
They got street cred.
Yes, exactly. So we are fortunate enough to work with some very talented folks who then look at all of the entries and make those selections. And while they don't curate the exhibition, they really look at not only just what the works are about, but how they're made and how they translate some traditional forms into more contemporary ways of looking at those traditional stories.
Gosh, I'm sitting here. I have to remember that we only have 13 minutes and not to stare at this and get lost in it, which means now I have to come down to the museum.
Yes.
And I have to take you to lunch, and you have to tell me what is your favorite piece privately
Oh my
in this.
gosh, they're like our children. We love them all differently. Right, there's so many beautiful works, and this year in particular we even had fashion and a music video that's playing behind it. We have really significant artists, but also emerging artists. Ursula Hudson has work in the exhibition this year, and her work was just acquired by the Smithsonian.
Wow.
Dan Friday, who is an amazing glass artist. He was on the 3rd season of
Blown Away.
Blown Away. Yeah. So, I mean, and we had a special area for Jeffrey Vergay's work, who, he did a series of Marvel comics, but it was drawn in an Indigenous way. And Jeffrey, we really wanted to highlight him this year because he's had some health struggles, and we really want to provide an opportunity for other people to support him the way he has really supported us. He did our logo for In the Spirit. And
he's family.
He
is family.
He is.
After 18 years, and also I'm going to add something more to this question, and you being you and all of your art history, curation, exhibit, program managing, directorship extraordinaire, How has this continued to grow? What do you think has determined its long-term success?
You know, we're rooted in partnership. It started out in partnership with the Longhouse at Evergreen College.
Yes.
And they moved away from this when they started their graduate program and did other things. But that anchor in partnership encouraged us to also build other partnerships. So with both Indigenous and non-Indigenous groups, building trust with tribes and artists, and really being an anchor in community every summer. I think that, and now we've partnered with other museums in the museum district, with the Tacoma Art Museum and the Museum of Glass. And so on the day of the festival, which is a part of the In the Spirit program exhibition, the whole museum district becomes really alive with Indigenous culture and history and stories.
What an incredible video!
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do I get to be a part of that?
Just come on down.
Just come on down. So how long will In the Spirit be at the Washington State History Museum? Because today is September 14th.
Right. So it closes on September 24th. So get down there.
This weekend.
Yes, get down there. So September 24th is a week from Sunday, this being Thursday.
Yes.
And, you know, it's been up for a while. We extended it on into September, and it's a really lovely way to start the fall, is to anchor yourself in these stories.
It absolutely is. So after we have our socks knocked off, when we've gone through and we've seen this beautiful In the Spirit, because it is ending soon, knowing you, and I do know you already have the next one just lined up waiting to be moved into the museum. So what's next?
Our team is working on it literally as we speak. We have two really wonderful exhibitions. One is called, one opens on Saturday, and it's called Natural Remedies, the CCC in Washington and Oregon. The CCC stands for the Civilian Conservation Corps, which was a New Deal program, actually the brainchild of Frances Perkins, the first woman Secretary of the Interior, but it was part of Roosevelt's New Deal, and it was it was a response to the Great Depression to, you know, sort of put people back to work, and also the legacy of that is our national parks and a lot of conservations. When you go into Mount Rainier National Park, those stone walls that you see today were made by those gentlemen who were a part of the CCC in the 1930s.
I've done some MC work for the Washington parks, and whenever I'm with them, there is such a sense of ancient sacredness that comes up in these parks.
Yeah.
It is just so beautiful. So, okay, so we can go to that.
Right, or you can go to Avis Marvelous, which opens on October 7th, which is perfect since Stuart was just here, because they are engravings of birds from the 18th and 19th century. But they're birds of the American West. You know, like our indigenous communities, birds don't know state boundaries.
Of course not.
So they really, it's like Colorado moving west, you know.
The birds we would find in that region.
Yes, exactly. And so not only, you know, Audubon was not the only one making engravings of birds. And so it's a really beautiful survey of birds, but we're also partnering with BirdNote, which is a wonderful, wonderful listening opportunity to learn all about birds through a contemporary lens. So it's that mixture of, you know, engravings from the 19th century, but also really these contemporary moments about birding and what that means to us as a community. So we're really excited about it.
Birds, I think, are on a side note, they are our keepers, because I can imagine, for instance, the wildfires in Maui. The birds are quiet right now. The birds are really watching and looking and thinking, how do we survive this? How do we get back to helping farmers and all the great things they do? Are there any special events? Because every time I am out on the street, people stop me about Little Black Dress.
That was really so
was
fun.
fun. Yeah,
Yes.
it was.
Well, stay tuned because
Okay.
we have another textile exhibition coming up in our future. But in terms of more immediate events, we have a wonderful program on September 23rd, which is called Feminista Frequencies. That is our Fenbert Challenging History lecture, and it is a wonderful story about Radio KDNA. Monica De La Torre is the author of this book, published by University of Washington Press, and it's a story about the first completely Spanish-speaking radio station and its role in developing community in the Yakima Valley. It's still on the air today. But
Yes, it is.
But it first started in 1979, and this not only is it Chicano history, but it's Chicana history. The producers and station managers were women, and so Monica dives into that. There's going to be a listening component to the program. It's really going to be wonderful.
Okay, I need to get a front row seat.
Yes, you do. I'll save you one.
Because growing up in Yakima and in Sela, you in that area, you take French or you take Spanish. But I remember the Spanish. We used to listen to that radio station.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it was a great way to
Yeah.
see how
Right.
you were doing with your listening of Spanish and interpreting and understanding.
Well, and if you think about those communities, there was really, it was a real galvanizing force in terms of getting information to them and actually helping them build community, which continues really to this
Absolutely.
day. Yeah. So
We have 30 seconds, and I know you, being the gracious, hospitable, beautiful woman you are, you have people to thank.
oh goodness.
Yeah. Volunteers or the artists or just anybody who's touched all the beauty at the Washington State History Museum.
Wow, that's a long list of folks.
Yeah, we only have 9 seconds.
But I mean, I have to give a shout out to our exhibitions team right now that who are working tirelessly to get these exhibitions open, and our advisory committee for In the Spirit. There's 12 people on that committee, but our jurors this year.
Just thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
And I want to say thank you to you for coming back on the comfy couch. And you have a permanent place every quarter, and we have lunch on the books.
Yes, I can't wait.
Mary Mikel Stump, it's so good to see you.
It's so good to see you. Thank you.
When we come back, we'll have Job Carr Museum in the house. You don't want to miss that. We'll be right back.